All right, so here we go. Yes, Stalker 2 is finally out, and we got some new responses from the dev team about what they are planning to do to support this game through hot fixes, bigger patches, and yes, more specifics as to exactly what that entails. We're going to go over all of the responses here in just a moment from the dev team. But yeah, we also got to talk about those reviews. They're kind of all over the place right now. On one hand, you have those that absolutely adore and love the game so far, despite the issues, and then those that do not recommend the game right now. It's kind of stirring up some controversy in the community as well. But a lot of you guys are wondering, hey, Robbie, what about the giveaway? Yes, I did reveal the giveaway winner out on Twitter. Congratulations to him. But look out for more giveaways in the future. Don't worry if you missed out on this one, there will be more. But let's get into the message from GSC Game World, the dev team, and stick with me because there's a lot more to this. We're going to get to replies from their Discord as well. So check it out right here. It says this: Dear Stalkers, it feels utterly surreal to say that, but Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl is out now. That's totally wild. So was the whole development story. I'm sure it was. Despite all the odds, it's here, our biggest game, our own story, our love letter to Ukraine. After more than 15 years, the doors to the zone are opened once again. This is a very important, very exciting, and very memorable day for all of us. Now, Stalker is meaningful in its own way for each fan. We hope that those who have been familiar with the universe for a long time will immediately feel at home and recognize the very same Stalker. For all newcomers, we hope you'll immerse yourself in the magical, alien, and all-powerful zone, and feeling its unique emotions will stay with us for a long time. And they go on to describe this as kind of like a passion project, but you're probably wondering, hey, what about the update? So it says, nevertheless, Stalker 2 is a massive game. We understand that in such a game, there may be some rough edges. We literally haven't released anything of this scale before. We're absolutely committed to being here, monitoring your feedback, and quickly fixing any issues that need our attention. In the first days after release, we'll be working with hot fixes, rolling them out as precisely as possible, but as frequently as we can. Then we'll switch to larger updates that include constant improvements. There will also be free in-game content. We'll share its roadmap later in December. We have big plans for Stalker Universe. In a way, today is both a return and the beginning of a grand new journey. We're blessed to have you before. We're blessed to have you now. The zone belongs to you. Have fun. With love, the GSC Game World team. So yes, there's also going to be that roadmap to look forward to when it comes to that free content updates, which will be rolling out eventually. But yeah, I'll keep you guys in the know about that once we actually have that roadmap. But let's get into some more specifics as well, because apparently there was an email sent out to reviewers before the release of the game. I guess it was right before embargo that did give some details and specifics to the actual patch fixes and updates. So let's get into this one from Rock Paper Shotgun. And to get straight to the point here, it goes on to say this: here are a few Wasteland Gremlins GSC Game World hope to corner and slaughter in the first few patches. There's one coming shortly after release, to be followed by a series of hot fixes. So here we go. And we got some fixes to quest lines. I'm going to skip that just in case if that is considered a spoiler. I'm not too sure. But anyway, game settings and controls. It says key binding for flashlight activation cannot be changed upon entering keyboard settings. And on Discord, it was worded like this: when will we be able to bind the flashlight key to anything we want? We cannot change it to a key in the settings. There's literally no option to do so. This is something they're looking into. It looks like this will be addressed. Title stability. On some rare occasions, title may close unexpectedly right after choosing difficulty setting. They plan to fix this. Memory leak caused issues with facials. Now, a memory leak and a visual bug that occurred when the tick of montage instance was disabled while the face was not rendered. I think this is translated, of course, but yeah, some updates there regarding memory leaks and that sort of thing. But let's get into the Q&A from the dev team on Discord. So they do give some tidbits that are interesting here. So we have this one right here. After completing the main story, will you be able to continue playing on that save? Great question. And the response is very interesting. It says, kind of a spoiler, it will be clear in game. So I cannot wait for us to actually get to the in game of this one and see what awaits us. But what about mod support? Check it out right here. Where are the modding tools and where can I get them? Weren't they supposed to be launch day one? And the answer is not day one, a bit later. So we're going to hold out for more updates on exactly when those will be releasing. But they do plan on modders to go absolutely crazy on this game like the first one. We also have, hi, I have a question. When will the game be available on GeForce Now, or will it be at all? We got an update on GeForce Now situation that will be happening soon. I saw some other responses. It sounds like that is going to be something that will be happening, but we'll wait on the official wording there. And what about this? Let me be honest about my question. So if I transfer, let's take a Seva suit, for example, achieved by buying the exclusive version, does it just remove from the single player and is moved to multiplayer? Or does it copy and paste so a player can have fun with the Seva in both campaign and multiplayer? So we have a response. Can be transferred to multiplayer. It will be possible to use it in multiplayer. You won't need to destroy items to transfer them. In single player, you'll find usual Sevas as well as one unique modified Seva. So there is the answer there. Yes, if you didn't know, there is going to be a multiplayer mode. It's looking like it's going to be PvP. Although I myself, I'm going to say I would love to see some sort of cooperative mode in this game. That would be very, very cool. And what's next? We have this. All the unique weapon and armor styles will be for both single player and multiplayer, right? And the answer is yes. So good news there, if you were wondering. Now, a lot of you guys are also wondering, hey, how is the game performing right now? It hasn't been out long, but let's check out the player numbers. So we have 85,000 players right now. In fact, let me refresh it. Nope, I was wrong. It's only growing already. We have 91,764 players on the game currently, which is pretty impressive. Oh, wrong again. We are very close to breaking 100,000 concurrent players. Can we do it? You know, I was really wondering how this game was going to be reviewed by players initially, and so far, get this, we're sitting at mostly positive reception. I think it's like 76% overall rating. I thought there was going to be a lot more harsh reactions to the game right out of the gates, but it seems like players understand what they are getting into when it comes to this one. All right, so we got to talk about further reviews because they have been kind of all over the place, and this is where we go into the rabbit hole. So Big Fry TV, for example, he said, had a blast playing Stalker 2, point out issues, and I'm a simp and disingenuous. Can't make this shit up. If Skill Up says it's broken, it must mean I couldn't possibly have been able to play it. And man, they went after him. It says, bro, no offense, but you are a simp. Other reviewers literally point out the mixed bag of low to high res textures that make the game look dated despite Unreal Engine 5 and the hit or miss performance and bugs. Just keep it real. And we got a response here saying, imagine that. Different people with different experiences. Who could believe that? And we got this one. I watched Skill Up review and the game looks broken as fuck. And he has plenty of footage to back up his claims. Unless his playthrough was an anomaly, I find it hard to believe you just found some bugs. And honestly, I think it goes to show that everyone's experience is just going to be very different with this game. But there is a lot more to this because it seems like perhaps, maybe just maybe, some YouTubers, some critics played the majority of the game without the day one patch, and then some people did play the game with the day one patch. But from what I'm seeing from actual players that are experiencing the game right now, yeah, this game definitely does have issues. But despite that, a lot of people are finding that this game is incredibly enjoyable and addictive. I do get the concerns though with the game's performance, bugs, that sort of thing, but to come out and call someone a shill, a simp, over the fact that they enjoy the game, it's just very overplayed at this time, and it's so boring to see that sort of response. But we got to get into this because check it out right here. It says, Skill Up. Why is the inventory limit so frustratingly low? I could barely carry 2 guns. Meanwhile, bro's inventory, oh boy, stacked to the brim. That's just an example, but it goes to show it's kind of like a warning as you head into this game. You will have to do some inventory management. I myself, I don't care to do much inventory management in my games, and it was a little warning for me to be like, hey, you know what? Make sure you don't overload your inventory. This is a more realistic game. This isn't like going to be similar to the Souls franchise in that you can just wing it and not worry about your inventory. You are going to have to do significant inventory management to not become over encumbered, which a lot of people might not like. I totally get that. If you don't like that, opening up your menu constantly and having to manage the weight system, that sort of thing, yes, I totally understand that for sure. And I am certain once the mod tools release, there's going to be that mod that alleviates that, where it's like no inventory management, you know, and gives you a lot more space. I will probably be downloading it. But you know, there's more replies here. It gets interesting. It says, to be fair, he gave a surprisingly balanced opinion of the game. But yeah, it's painfully clear he's never played a Stalker game before. I don't know if that's true or not, by the way. And a reply here from the OP saying, yeah, I clarified in my comment that in the grand scheme I like the review. It seemed balanced and fair, though it's clear Stalker just might not be for him, or he became less charitable as more problems with the game started to wear on him. Overall, I think he made a ton of good points and gave it a ton of fair criticism, which leads me back to my other point. I'm curious to see what happens with the Steam review score as players get further and further into the game. That's what I'm curious about, because we might see some opinions change, flip-flop here. But yeah, someone pointed out that after watching his review in ACG's, it seems like Skill Up's review was done without the day 0 patch, while ACG played it with the patch, especially since ACG seems to report way less bugs and had way more fun. So yeah, I'm curious to see if Skill Up will come out and say if he was playing with the day 0 patch or not. But even still, from Reddit, if you come through Reddit or the Steam forums, you can clearly see that this game isn't perfect. It has problems. And even GSC Game World is very much aware of that. I mean, hell, it was developed in like a war zone, a literal situation that they are in over there. So I guess we're lucky that this game even exists. But I would love to see it improve despite all of that. Now, on Reddit, we have more mixed opinions. For example, averaging 130 frames per second on 1440p DLSS plus FSR in a 3090, looking good to me. I love the picture there. But you also have someone saying this: I'm sorry, but the game feels like garbage. I love Stalker. I want to love Stalker 2. Yes, this is exactly what I expect on day one. He gives the specs right there. I get around 50 to 110 frames per second based on the scene, but the game feels like 30 to 70 frames per second. Let me know if you guys are feeling this way or not about the game. It's hard to describe. Walking in a straight line feels fine. Any sort of camera panning via the mouse feels really, really bad, like it feels chunky. I don't know if it's input lag or what, but yeah, using frame gen, it just feels even worse despite the higher indicated FPS. The game is definitely playable, and everyone has different levels of low frame tolerance, but this game just doesn't feel good. I've turned on reflex boost, VSync off, etc., etc. I guess the game is intended to be played with motion blur, and it tries to hide a lot of the weight of the camera pans, but I don't know. Open to suggestions. Edit not using frame gen. I have motion blur off for most games, but blur does make camera pans feel a bit better and less chunky, but I also hate motion blur, lol. Yeah, you know, I've also heard this from several other people, that the controls just don't feel up to par with what people are expecting. We'll see if GSC has something to say about that. But hey, we have, this game is straight up amazing. I'm in awe. I've only been playing for like 3 hours as of now and not going to make a big post out of it, but damn. So 3 hours is not a lot of time to form an exact review. But it says, I had my fair share of concerns over the bits of information that's been getting out lately, but the final product is just it. It is it. I played the first Stalker game in 2007 as a 10-year-old kid, and what I'm experiencing today is so very close to the memories I have from that time. I'm having literal goosebumps. Love to hear it. I'm not talking about specifically gameplay, gunplay, graphics, or whatever. I'm talking about the feeling that the game provides. The atmosphere is there, and honestly, this is the only thing I've been praying to be there at the moment. I literally felt flashbacks to the dozens of Stalker books I've read back in 2008 through 2013 in a way of how the whole zone experience sucks you in. I've even had to stop playing like every 30 minutes to go to the balcony for a nervous smoke over the overwhelming excitement I felt the entire time. And yes, there are bugs, and it's not great technically. Also, my setup is not really top notch. But how do I not care about that with all the atmosphere that really is out there? Massive props to GSC. I'm not sleeping tonight, and I don't care that I have to work tomorrow. So you can see, like, he's a hardcore Stalker fan, and it seems like he's getting really, really into it, which is nice to see. But there was this one guy that played on Ultra Super Hard mode today. Let me tell you what. Here's my explanation. My PC has died on the release day of Stalker 2. This would be horrible. I can't put the words into how angry and sad I am right now. The chance of this happening today of all days, unbelievable. See you in the zone soon as I can, Stalkers. Update, I have to replace the RAM for the new 30 gigabyte cards and still no luck. So it must be the power supply. Dude. Ah, man, I could feel your pain. This sort of thing has happened to me in the past at the worst time. So anyway, I wish you the best luck. Hopefully you can get that fixed soon. But talk about like ultra hard mode right there. All right, so now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It can end up right here in a future video. Let's see what you guys said in my recent video. So we have this one. This game is what everyone tries to mod Fallout 4 into. Isn't that the truth? Trusting reviews these days is about as reliable as getting your news from Facebook. Whoa, shots fired. And then we have IGN probably going to give a 5 out of 10 for being too hard. That's what they did for Alien Isolation when the IGN reviewer played on the hardest difficulty and complained. I think they are like isn't the review like work in progress right now? It's sitting at like an 8.2 or something. At least that's what I thought it was. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm surprised that their score was it was higher than I anticipated. I don't care at all what reviewers say about Stalker 2. The first 3 games were janky. The modding community fixed them and created some of the best mods for Stalker out there, like Anomaly and Gamma. In Stalker, there are no bugs. There are only anomalies. I expect that in Stalker 2, there will be a little bit of jank, but nothing that will make me, read more, not want it. It's the first proper Stalker game since 2010. The devs went through hell in order to create it for us. I will play it no matter what. Totally agree. And, you know, that's still an ongoing thing. And it is just mind-blowing, their strength to get this game out, their endurance. You know, it is beyond impressive. So I did not honestly expect that this game would be out right now. I thought for sure that we'd see maybe delay after delay after delay, and I don't know if it would have released. So very lucky to even be checking this one out. But anyway, kudos to GSC Game World for powering through. And yeah, very excited to see what they do with the updates. I'm hoping that this game really turns into something even more special. We'll have to find out. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more Stalker 2 coverage and news and updates. I have you guys covered on this one, and I will see you all next time. Take care.